Rabbi Sai Azoi. 8 begadim for the Kohen Gadol, 4 begadim for the Kohen Hedyot. And here they are listed in the pasuk. Number 1, a ktones, a tunic. Number 2, an avnate, a sash. Number 3, a migbaas, a hat, for kavod and tifares. And Moshe is told, v'hilbashta usam, dress the kohanim in these clothes. But where's the 4th beged, the michnasayim? They seem to be missing. In fact, they're only listed by themselves 2 psukim later. And there's no mention of kavod and tifares and no v'hilbashta, just v'asei lahem. Lot levisha, just asiya. What's going on over here? Why the michnasayim clearly so different? My high. Rav Yitzchak Hutner was born in Poland in 1906 with a combination of Hasidic and Litvish lineage. Aged only 14, he went to learn in the Slobodka Yeshiva, where he soon became known as the young Warsaw Ilui. But when the Alter of Slobodka, Rav Nosson Tzvi Finkel, wanted young Rav Hutner to join the inner circle, others opposed having a boy of such tender age join. What did the Alter prophetically respond to their complaints? More of that later. In 1925, he followed the Alter to Hebron Yeshiva in Eretz Yisrael. And during his time there, he met some legendary figures, including Rav Issa Zalman Meltzer, Rav Yosef Chaim Sonnenfeld, and Rav Kook. In 1929, he narrowly escaped the Hebron massacre. He was away from the yeshiva that Shabbos. He then traveled back to Europe, eventually moved to America, where he headed Yeshivas Chaim Berlin, and eventually to Eretz Yisrael, where he was the Rosh Yeshiva of Pachad Yitzchak Yeshiva, after which his magnum opus is named, which is located in the beautiful Yerushalayim suburb of Hanof. Aside from his Gadlus in all areas of Nigla and Nista, Rav Hutner was, in the words of Rav Mordechai Gifter, the greatest post-war Rosh Yeshiva in being Ma'amid Talmidim. Those Talmidim include giants such as Rav Moshe Shapira, Rav Yonatan David, his own son-in-law, and Rav David Cohen, mighty names. Now back to our question. Why are the Michnasayim listed separately by themselves? So on that, number 4 should we explain that the Michnasayim were only there to remove the indignity of being exposed in their area. As the pasuk says, they were mechase erva, whereas the other begadim were actually moisif, kavod and tefaris. They were a proper levisha, not just an asiya. But Rav Hutner typically takes this a stage deeper. Compare, he says, the physical posture of an animal as opposed to a human being. An animal typically walks around on all 4s, whereas a human is comfortable walking upright. That's based on the fact that the spine of an animal is only at ease when it's horizontal, whereas a human spine is perfectly comfortable walking vertical, upright. That's based on the difference between the nature of their spine, while the spine only starts from the waist up. That means that which is special and distinct about the tzura of a human being is only really concentrated on those parts from the waist upwards. If so, only clothing which is worn in the upper part of the body is a kavod, whereas anything which is below, well, in that area below the waist, we're not so different between man and animal. That's only there to remove indignity. And therefore, says Rav Hutner, a chiddush lahalacha, which is debated by the poskim, there's no real Indian to buy special Shabbos shoes. Shoes are below the waist. Phenomenal Yesoid and so matim. Rav Hutner's life and life mission was to emphasize the unique tzura, dignity, majesty and splendor of Torah, B'nai Torah and Knesset Yisrael. In a noisy America dominated by Beatles music and long cars, one Talmud recalled that, "We heard him, Rav Hutner, and the rest of it faded away. It lost its allure and color as we understood that there is something called a Ben Torah." A Talmud once came to him to ask him for advice about a particular shidduch, and Rav Hutner clearly thought that it was not a good idea. So the Talmud asked the Rosh Yeshiva, "So I should say no?" "No," said Rav Hutner. "You never say no to Bas Yisrael. Perhaps it's not for you, or it's not a good idea. But no, to a dignified Bas Yisrael, that you never say." Even today, almost 45 years after his death, that majestic, mysterious roimamus can still be felt. The Simchas Beis HaShoeva and the Pesach Ma'amarim at his yeshiva Pachad Yitzchak, still the singing, the Divrei Torah, still have a certain lofty majesty to them. That's Rav Hutner's legacy. And that's what the Alter prophetically said to the inner circle of Talmidim when they questioned welcoming in this 14-year-old to their inner circle. Don't you see? He's a prince. A good Shabbos.